दादा काय सांगू, दादा काय सांगू माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट. दादा काय सांगू, दादा काय सांगू माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट. घेऊ थोडं कष्ट, होऊ एकनिष्ठ, अशी आहे आमच्या गावाची गोष्ट. दादा काय सांगू, दादा काय सांगू माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट. दादा काय सांगू, दादा काय सांगू माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट.
Kuded is the site of a community solar energy project under the Sunrise Initiative, a UK-India collaboration. I've been a researcher on this project since 2019. The village is an almost equal mix of semi-pucca homes made from materials like bricks with roof tiles and huts made of mud, thatch and other local materials. Most households rely on kerosene for lighting due to frequent power outages and use wood or dung for cooking. Nearly 80% experience over 3 hours of load shedding each day. Average household incomes are low, around 13,000 rupees, and many residents report that high energy costs strain their limited budgets. The Solar Oasis is our full-scale demonstrator building. It is located in Kuded village in rural Maharashtra, India. It uses solar power to generate, store and release energy to be shared by the residents and acts as a flexible community space. The Solar Oasis generates more power than it consumes. This surplus energy is intended to be shared locally, supporting daily activities and providing business opportunities. This can promote economic growth and reduce the need for temporary migration. These expanded local income generating opportunities provide alternative options to the usual seasonal migration that disrupt family life and agricultural practices, exposing individuals and communities to greater economic insecurity, and instead allows people to stay and thrive in their community rather than seek work elsewhere.
To look at underlying principles that we could ground our research within, and the capabilities approach and a participatory arts-based approach fitted in with this, making sure we were involving the public throughout this process of what the building was about, how it was going to be designed, where it was going to be put, who was going to be using it. And we needed to really understand from the villagers' perspectives their capabilities, needs, aspirations. And you did the participatory approaches to make sure that we were engaging people.
We acknowledge inevitable power dynamics between donors, project partners, researchers, and community participants. To mitigate this, we focused on building trust by working with local NGO. Participants were encouraged to share critical perspectives, emphasizing there were no right answers. Participatory arts-based methods aimed to counter-critique traditional models of community engagement, overcoming barriers such as language, illiteracy, and scientific jargon. Underpinning all activities was the importance of respecting socio-cultural, environmental, and historical context. There were 58 participants, comprising of men and women, aging from 18 up to 60 plus years old.
So when we were talking as well about the multiple stakeholders, to an extent though the villagers have got they have a very positive view, because obviously they have been very supportive over a long number of years.
Right.
That many people are benefiting, are the others who aren't benefiting so much, and to really get that understanding of others' views and abilities and access, back to this equitable access of the building. Are we definitely seeing that? And maybe it has been a little bit limited in that we've also got members of the group who are community members.
And since we're also trying to understand a future scope for this project, how we can help them further and how we can improve the things which currently they are facing problems with.
Using arts-based research encouraged communities to express and communicate their outlooks, support each other in the process, and learn together through fun and creative activities. We used 4 qualitative research techniques. First, body mapping, wherein outline of the participants' body was created on a large sheet of paper, and they were encouraged to express their thoughts, feelings, and social experiences directly onto the body outline to convey their personal narratives as embodied knowledge. Second was the convoy model of social relationships. This technique helps us understanding the social relationships of community members and the types of emotional and instrumental support that they receive from their closer to closest relationships within their family and social circles. Third technique, occupational mapping, developed our understanding of various roles, skills, and occupations of community members in the area, especially to identify enabling and constraining environmental factors that influence individual and group capabilities. Lastly, in participatory diagramming, the participants were encouraged to discuss the challenges in the community and what would be helpful for them to overcome these challenges.
It's really fundamentally grounded in the experiences of the community. So it's got a number of processes that each individual element, so it's about the storytelling and how we actually get the participants to talk and describe their own individual stories as a first step. Storyboard is a really useful way of really making sure that they're going to capture the aspects of the story that they've decided on.
Start drawing it, then
Yeah.
people start sharing their ideas.
Yes, you've got
giving
a main
instructions.
Yeah,
yes.
that's it. So you've got a main
Yeah.
storyteller
Right.
who's drawing it, but
Yes.
everybody is
Contributing in some or the other way.
Yeah, so you get that feeling that it is a combined approach to actually telling the story, and even when it was sort of more fully completed, all the boxes, then each time we came back to a session, we sort of came back to that initial individual stories to the almost like a collective analysis of the story in understanding which main story they want to tell,
Right.
and how they want to tell it. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think that whole process also gives them an opportunity to reflect on each other's experiences, which is very, very important. Generally, it is just my experience, and I would be limited to thinking in a certain way. But when I hear about different experiences, my horizons are more broadened. So that really helps them to understand each other better and think about more opportunities or explore what they can do in future.
As a designer, I always believe that everyone is a designer. It's just that our tools need to be more accessible for everyone to participate. It was wonderful to see that the community members quickly picked up the skills that is required for filmmaking, whether it's the awareness of what's in the frame, whether the audio visualizations on the screen is still moving, and quickly moving from shot to shot based on the storyboards they created. It was an example of how people can reflect on their own lived experiences, how they can come together to collaborate on a storyboard, how they can work together and act various roles of the people who are operating cameras, people who are directing, people who are acting, and all this amalgamation of activities into the wonderful process of filmmaking. Editing was very interesting, and it was a lot of intermediation was there in that process, partly because of the complexity of the editing softwares. We would sit together over multiple sessions to kind of use all the shots and lay it on a timeline based on the storyboards and find gaps where shots are missing. They will go back, shoot, and then we'll add it together and then iterate over the multiple versions of this edit collectively. And it was a very joyful experience for all of us involved, and that is truly reflected in the final film also.
पहिला एकदम साधा आणि सरळ होतं. कुडाची घरा होती, काल कपूड भरून ते चिकनाने लिपून शेणाने पोचारून सारवून अशी आमची घरा होती. गावात आम्हाला पिण्याचं पाणी 2-3 महिने पाणी नसायचा. माऊली पाळ्यात पाण्यावर जायला लागायचा, म्हणजे बाहेर पाण्यावर जायला लागायचा. माऊली पाडा कुठं पाड्यांवर जायला लागायचा पाणी आणायला. पण आता तशी आम्हाला विहीर आहे, पाण्याची समस्या थोडी आहे. पहिले आमच्याकडं चक्की नाही दळायला. आमच्या गावात पहिला जात्याने दळायचं.
पहिले आम्ही असे दळायचं घरी जात्याला पहाटे 4 वाजेपासून. आता सोलर दिले, म्हणजे बिल्डिंग बांधले, तिथं लाईट आहे, चक्की आहे.
दळून तेव्हा त्या भाकरी करायच्या, काढायचा तेव्हा त्या भात बनवायचा. असं आमच्याकडं हे होती. सुपानी पाखरायचा अशी आमची सोय होती. बाहेर गावी आम्हाला दळायला जायला लागायचा, दळणासाठी पाड्यावर जायला लागायचा दळायसाठी. पण आता आम्हाला आहे चक्कीची सोय, म्हणजे सोय आहे, चक्की आहे, भात भरड्याची मशीन आहे. म्हणून आम्ही आता म्हणजे दळायचा आणि भात भरडायचा आम्हाला प्रश्न म्हणजे त्या मशनी आहेत म्हणून हे सौर ऊर्जेमुळं आम्हाला बरा वाटला. म्हणजे काही असं म्हणजे आम्हाला काढायचा एवढा टेन्शन नाही राहत.
पहाटे कळ्या काढण्यासाठी जातो, मग कळ्या काढून झाले का शिल्लक असतात ते संध्याकाळी फुटतो आणि फ्रीजमध्ये ठेवतो. नाही फ्रीजमध्ये ठेवल्या तर त्या वाया जातील आणि दुसऱ्या दिवस ते बाजारात देण्यासाठी फ्रीजमध्ये ठेवतो.
दिवस आम्ही ट्रेनिंग घेतला बांबूच्या वस्तू बनवायला. मग हा बांबू प्रोजेक्ट आम्ही तयार केला. मग आम्ही आम्हाला मशनीची सोय, म्हणजे आम्हाला हाताकडे लवकर काम नाही संपायचं आमचा. आणि ते सौर ऊर्जेवरच्या मशनीवर पट्ट्या पटापट पाडायला लागलो. पहिला आम्हाला सगळं हाताकडे काम करायला लागायचा. मग ते मशनी दिल्या तिथून पट्ट्या पाडायचा काम आमचा थोडा कमी झाला.
I think the idea of them being on a bigger screen or them being in the video excites them, and then it is also kind of a memory which they can replay again and again. So they would like to do that. And because that excitement was there, that interest was there, they were also very quick. Of course they made mistakes and also corrected themselves. And this thing as an opportunity to convey their messages, convey their voices, and be aware about themselves, what they really want, what they don't want, what things can be improved. So this whole process, as you said, really helps them to brainstorm, enhance their thoughts, and the whole process of understanding every aspect of village development.
Yeah, and I think we've sort of mentioned right from the outset there's certain elements of dynamics within the community, power dynamics, and and they have to stay here within the community, so they don't want to necessarily raise contentious issues, but they want to be able to comfortably discuss them within the group and see what they can, what they are happy to say and what they might not want to include, but they can discuss amongst themselves. So that has promoted wider discussion even amongst the group.
Right.
I have a story about the building. The first time I saw this, there was many people here. It was very, it was a really nice experience for me to be here.
हा सूर्यकिरण आहे, सूर्य आहे की ढग आहे आणि पाऊस आहे?
फायद्याचं सांगायचं.
हा, काय फायदा आहे? तुम्ही का ते स्टिकर लावले ते सांगा. सगळे सर्व तुमचा पूर्ण दिवस संपेपर्यंत अशा काही गोष्टी आहेत तर की ज्या तुम्हाला असं वाटतं की अडथळे आहेत?
Went to a chicken. That's very early morning till late at night, women's work and
पण आता मी म्हटलं की जसं मी या मशीनी आहे याचा प्रत्येक घरामध्ये होऊ शकतो, तरी पण आम्ही जवळजवळ 1-1.5 वर्षानंतर आलो है ना गावामध्ये. तर या काळामध्ये काय काय झालं?
आता वाईट गोष्टी म्हणजे कसं आता काय
आता जास्त काही बाकीची लोक जास्त लक्ष नाही ना देत. मग ते कसं आमचा एक कुटुंब जाऊन आम्ही तिथं काय करणार असा पण पडत आहे ना आम्हाला.
पण का नाही देत बाकीचे लोक लक्ष?
मग ते आता का त्यांच्या मनात असेल ते आपण पण सांगता नाही येत ना.
The participatory research we did clearly revealed social realities and structures of power in the village. Some are obvious and physical, like the land ownership, but there are also more hidden ones among the women themselves. All these influences energy consumption patterns, who benefits, and what the energy is used for. It also matters for ownership and maintenance. As one participant said in our workshop, those who are well off benefit the most. For example, the women in the key family benefit perhaps the most, and they were keen or assigned to participate in our workshops. The old lady in the key family clearly has direct and indirect power, and this can then trickle down through a network of women in the village. It also matters how the energy is used. So it is clear that firewood is used for cooking water and food. Solar energy is often used for fans or comfort in the houses, and electricity from the grid is used for mobile phone charging, therefore for communication and entertainment. If this is so, then solar energy is for comfort and communication, not so much for cooking. It might therefore be that electricity benefits men more than women in the village. It should also be considered that energy needs in the village are shaped by very urgent priorities, especially during seasonal drought. And the priorities are water, food, and farming.
We are all back home. During the course of the last few months after our visit, we made an effort to think through our own thinking and trying to distill our new learnings into reports and films that others can learn from. We did various acts of thinking from different perspectives of our audiences, perspectives of our funders, perspective of the people that we met in Kudet. Participatory art space methods anchored us and helped us crystallize these various acts of thinking in the forms of drawings and pictures and visuals and poems. It's all there in front of our eyes if you want to look through our biases and our versions of history. It's all in front of our eyes.
गेली जव्हारमध्ये तहसील कचेरी गेली जव्हारमध्ये दादा काय सांगू माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट दादा काय सांगू माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट दादा काय सांगू माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट विक्रमगड तालुक्याची निर्मिती झाली खुडीत गावाची विभागणी झाली ग्रामपंचायत विक्रमगडमध्ये पंचायत समिती गेली जव्हारमध्ये तहसील कचेरी गेली जव्हारमध्ये दादा काय सांगू माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट दादा काय सांगू माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट सरकारी कामासाठी जव्हारला जाय साहेब म्हणतो तू विक्रमगडला जाय जव्हारला जाय तू विक्रमगडला जाय बोलणारा बोलतो अडचण सोडवतो साधा भोळा फार कंटाळून जाय दादा काय सांगू माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट दादा काय सांगू माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट गावाची शाळा ही 8वी परत हाय मास्तर पाहिले तर तीनच हाय पुढील शिक्षणाला पोर बाहेर गावी जाय साखऱ्याला जाय कोणी वाळवंड्याला जाय दादा काय सांगू माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट दादा काय सांगू माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट गावात इष्टीची सोयच नाही, शिक्षणासाठी पोर चालत जाय, शिक्षणासाठी पोर चालत जाय, चालून चालून पोर कंटाळून जाय, याचा विचार कोण करतं का नाही, याचा विचार कोण करतं का नाही. दादा काय सांगू, दादा काय सांगू, माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट र दादा काय सांगू, दादा काय सांगू, माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट. अशी आहे ही डोकादोकी, गावची जनता कधी होईल सुखी, गावची जनता कधी होईल सुखी. घेऊ थोडं कष्ट, होऊ एकनिष्ठ, अशी आहे आमच्या गावाची गोष्ट. दादा काय सांगू, दादा काय सांगू, माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट र दादा काय सांगू, दादा काय सांगू, माझ्या गावाची गोष्ट.